So I have to tell you a quick story. All right. So people ask me all the time, why did you become a Pampered Chef Consultant? I mean, it's a legitimate question because I've done a lot in my life. I was one of the first women in the country to graduate from a military academy. I was the only woman on board a ship with 72 guys working in the engine room. I was one of the first people to show up when the oil tanker Valdez went aground in Alaska. I've done a lot. All right. So why did I become a Pampered Chef Consultant? Well, there's a story there and I got to tell you the story. Okay. So back in March, at the beginning of COVID, so March 2020, I received a Facebook invite from a Coast Guard Academy classmate, Becky, that I had not seen since 1983. And I mean, we're Facebook friends, but we had literally just found each other on Facebook, liked each other, and that was it. But we'd not even corresponded since 1983. And she invited me to a online virtual Pampered Chef party. So I said, sure, because let's face it, it was the beginning of COVID and nobody knew what was going on and I had nothing else to do. So sure, I'll join a Pampered Chef party. I forgot to go. All right, I got really busy that week and I didn't go. And I actually felt bad about that because I do try to go to, I never buy anything from these parties, but I always go and talk and, jazz things up so other people will buy. But I didn't go that week and I felt kind of bad about it, but that's okay. So whatever, right? Because we all have a life. But at the end of the week, I got a text from Becky and she says, hey, you ought to host a party. So I wrote her back and I said, well, will you get any benefits if I host the party? And she writes, well, yes, I will, but that's no reason to host a party. And I'm like, sure, that's every reason in the world to host a party because why not? Because I knew that there really was nothing involved in hosting a party. And if it would help my friend, then who I had not seen since 1983, I'm willing to do it. So I'm like, sure, I'll host a party. So the next week I'm hosting a party. Now, what you have to know is that up to this point, I had never been to a Pampered Chef party and I did not own any Pampered Chef items. All right. I had heard of Pampered Chef. I was familiar with the brand. I knew it was very reputable. I even knew that Warren Buffett owned the company, so I knew it wasn't going anywhere. But I did not own any Pampered Chef, nor had I been to a party. But whatever. So now I'm hosting a party. Well, can you hear my lovebird talking in the background? Whenever I do a video, my lovebird Pong starts talking. We used to have two lovebirds, Ping and Pong, but Ping died. We only have Pong. And sadly, she never missed Ping at all. So I don't even know what that was about. But anyway, so I am hosting a party. And I'm about 4 days in this party, and I'm having an absolute blast. I really am. I mean, I'm really having, what's going on with my hair? Do you see it flipping out? So I'm really having a blast. And the consultant, Kathy, writes to me a message and she says, have you ever thought about being a consultant? And I said, no, because, well, I had never thought about being a consultant. And she says, well, you'd be really good at it. And I'm like, well, sure I would, because I'm great at everything, right? No. So I'm like, well, that's really nice and everything else, but, no, I'm really good. But then I'm starting to think about it and I'm thinking, well, I love to cook. I really do. I mean, I have a few real passions. I love to garden. I love to cook. I love to paint. I mean, there's some things I really love to do, but cooking is one of the things I love to do. And I love to have fun. And I was having a lot of fun in this virtual party. I was absolutely having a blast. So I said to my husband, I said, what do you think? And he goes, well, you got nothing else to do. It's COVID. Why not? Right? So I went ahead and I signed up. So now halfway through my party, I am now the consultant in my party who still I'm at my first party that I am now the consultant at, and I still don't own anything, but that's okay. So that party, but around the time that party ended, my kit arrived, and you can get 3 different kits, right? They come in 3 different sizes. That's how you join. You buy a kit. Well, I bought the biggest kit because I figured if I'm going to be a consultant, I should probably own some Pampered Chef products, right? So I got the biggest kit, y'all. I'm not kidding. So prior to me signing up for Pampered Chef, you pretty much could not prove that I existed because I avoided the camera at all costs. I mean, because seriously, people, you cannot capture this magnetic personality on film. So my hair, I was always doing something. So I never wanted my picture taken. I certainly never did a live video. Well, I'm thinking, I'm also kind of an all-in type person. So I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do a live video. So my kit arrives and I'm thinking, well, I'm going to do a live video showing everybody what's in my kit. So I'm doing my first live video and I'm unboxing everything out of my kit. It was a disaster. All right, because I'm pulling stuff out and I'm like reading, I have no idea what this does. And I'm tossing it aside and, well, this looks really weird. I can't, and so it was absolute blast. Anyway, so I'm unboxing this kit. Everybody's cracking up. I'm having a blast. Well, the next week I'm doing my very first party. All right, now again, the only party I've ever been to is the one that I signed up in. And the only products I have are the ones that I just took out of the box. I even haven't had time to do. But that's okay. My daughter, bless her heart, she hosted my first party. And oh my gosh, it was like $2,500 in sales. It was insane. We had an absolute blast. So anyway, from that, things really, really took off. I promoted to director in 57 days, still calling products by the wrong name, still with my lovebird. At that point, we were living in Florida. She would be loose in the house. She'd come and land on my head in the middle of my videos. It was fine. I think I was a comedy of errors. So I promoted to director in 57 days. I promoted to advanced director in 6 months. My daughter, who hosted my first party, she actually joined about 2 months after I did, and she promoted to director. And I have this wonderful team of people that I absolutely, absolutely adore. I continue to have fun, but the other benefits have been amazing, all right? I mean, again, the friendships that I've made, and you hear this all the time, but you know what? It is true, okay? And I'm not going to say that's specific for Pampered Chef. This is true. Whenever you embark on a new endeavor that involves other people, you develop a bond. And that is what has happened, all right? Y'all have experienced this in your life. Well, there has been a true bond that is developed. But what I did not anticipate was the income. Because quite honestly, y'all, when I signed up, I didn't even ask what it was. I literally signed up to have fun, which I've done. Like a big check mark next to fun. I will tell you that in October, 6 months after I signed up, we moved from Florida to Pennsylvania to be closer to our kids, because basically all of our friends in Florida had pretty much moved away by and large. Both of our kids had settled up north, and it was about a 19-hour drive to see our kids, and so that wasn't happening very often. So we decided to move. Now, if you've ever moved yourself, you know it is very expensive. And I will tell you that my Pampered Chef income paid for that move and then some. And that was such a blessing for us. So I will tell you that I am so glad that my friend from 1983 had the nerve, the audacity to invite me to an online party. I'm so glad I accepted, but I'm even more glad that she followed up and asked if I would host a party. And then that consultant, Kathy, suggested that I become a consultant as well, because it has turned out to be life-changing for me. If you've ever thought about trying something like this, I would love to talk to you about it. There's no pressure. I will say that always say to people is try on the apron for 30 days. Give it a shot for 30 days. If you don't like it, then you can be done. If you do like it, I will help you achieve whatever goals that you have. But just give it a shot. What do you have to do? Who knows? You might end up moving. Ha! All right, y'all. You have a happy day.